What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tonyd2wild checking in once again, back in the building today, guys, with the top 10 sneakers of 2024. Now, this is my list, which is opinionated. So with that being said, I'm gonna have a list that I like, and also I take into account the overall sneaker culture and perspective as well, but also how impactful the shoe was to me, how impactful it was to others, and just a good list, that is. I've looked at some other lists on YouTube, some other lists like the Complex one as well, GQ, and a lot of others, and gotten all other perspectives as well alongside with my own to come up with a list that I feel like for the most part is pretty fair. So without further ado, let's get straight into it, starting it off with number 10. Coming in at number 10, guys, we had the JTips and Saucony Omni 9. Now, these came out in two different colorways. This one was my favorite of the two, but the collaboration as a whole, I am holding up as number 10. And I personally just really liked what JTips has been doing this year in particularly, and the run that he's on. He recently did the Matrix, of course, which ended up being one of my favorite pickups as well from this year, but that model in particular I feel like didn't resonate with the whole overall as much as the Omni one did. I feel like the colorways, I feel like the styles and the models that he chooses are something different and not just the easy way out. I feel like he really takes on models that you may not have really have thought of or even known and brought them out to the day, just like what he did recently with the Matrix. Now, these released on September 24th and did come in at a $180 price point. I personally love these. They feel comfortable, they look great, and there's something just different. The overall color, the contrast, and everything he did as far as creativity wise, I think means left a very big impact on what he's been doing with Saucony lately. And I remember his first overall collab. I remember JTips doing hats, and then now moving on to Saucony and just seeing his story overall unfold. I definitely put him, and this shoe in particular, at number 10 on my list. Today's video is sponsored by Mysterium VPN. The holidays are here and I have an amazing deal for you guys and girls out there. Mysterium VPN is giving 80% off right now on all of their subscription plans. This is your chance to level up in the world of the online security when it comes to VPNs and having a secure network line, and stop any privacy from any of those Grinches that may lay about. Mysterium VPN is decentralized and powered by over 30,000 users in over 135 different countries using only residential IPs. It's also undetectable, meaning that nobody will even know that you're utilizing a VPN, so no more annoying sites telling you to turn it off in order to jump in on the website itself. Enjoy military grade encryption, total privacy, and no detection accessing any site from anywhere across the globe. Forget this content isn't available here, and even enjoy it more with avoiding that price discrimination that occurs from wherever you live at in your IP track. You can get all this right now for 80% off on any of the plans right now by using the code GIFT. Use the code GIFT down below and click the link down below in the description to enjoy 80% off on Mysterium VPN right now. And I want to give a huge shout out to Mysterium VPN for sponsoring today's video. Coming in at number 9, we have the Tekken Foamposite. Now, we talked about these as being one of my favorite pickups of 2024, but I have to put it on the list as one of the biggest drops of 2024 because of how impactful I think this will be leading into the future alongside with Nike and Jordan brand from gaming and from sneakers. We've already seen what they've been doing so far with Jordan brand and Nike with Fortnite in gaming. We also saw that being done alongside with Tekken, but now we've gone a step further where a shoe was designed and put on Tekken, worn by the players, the fighters, and then now brought to reality of some shape or form. Like, we don't know, or I don't know which one came first. Obviously, I think the shoe might have came first and then the shoe went into the game. But the way they released was so close to one another that it almost felt as if the shoe was done in the game first and then brought out to the real world. And with that said, I think we'll see more of that down the road because of the success that this one had. I know some upcoming collabs coming into next year of shoes and clothing that's being done with games and movies, and I just see more and more where there'll be shoes that are worn in games that then come out later on in the future into reality playing a little bit of that part of that NFT, non-tangible, then becoming tangible market down the pipeline. Now, these released on October 4th, and these were also released exclusively at SoulPlay, but also earlier in the year at Evo. These came in at $250, and in my opinion, was a very, very big release overall. It was, in my opinion, the biggest gaming and sneaker culture collaborative effort. We saw what happened with the Jordan 4 SB, how it brought skateboarders and sneakerheads together. This brought the gaming world and sneakerheads together, and I like this one for number 9. We had the Nigel Sylvester in Jordan 4 RM Grandma's Driveway. Now, they released that in the green, and then they released the anthracite colorway, but the overall collaboration, specifically the driveway itself, I think personally was a very big collab coming in, and of a new model being brought out from Jordan brand of the Jordan 4 RM, or remodeled, or I don't think it's remastered, but remodeled or modded. And the collab with Nigel, once again, just proving that he has a very big mark in this sneaker culture in general. These released on July 20th. Retail was $150. And this rolled out a brand new model, as stated, for Jordan brand featuring the RM. These were of a collab, kind of similar to what we saw with Travis Scott and the Mac Attacks, but we saw more RMs come down assembly line. That said, I don't know what the future will hold for the RM itself, because as it released as an inline, its own version, it didn't get really well received. But when the Nigel Sylvester collab came and popped things off, we saw a very big impact in the sneaker culture, as well as, once again, the BMX and sneaker culture collaborating on this method. And I personally really like the shoes, both of the colorways in particular, and I think that they deserve, specifically the Grandma's Driveway, it deserves to be on this list, even though I don't own them. Coming in at number 7, guys, we have the Nike Dunk High Wu-Tang, a cult classic, originally put out, don't even want to say the word released, in 1999, and now brought out to the public. We finally saw these bad boys here being released to the general public, and it was a monumental moment. I think that these are still a shoe that, for the most part, they are kind of sitting a little high in the resale market, still somewhat attainable, but they definitely did what they were supposed to do. But I think that seeing this model come out, seeing that Nike's kind of opening that vault up to us as consumers, is something that I appreciate, specifically for these old type of models like this that we once could not have. So I'm very happy to see that we were able to get our hands on this. These released on November 9th for a retail price point of $150, and definitely I appreciated getting these and owning these, and these are definitely a collector's item for me as well, coming in at number 7. Coming in at number 6, guys, we have the Jumpman Jack in the building, released on April 30th for $200, a brand new model for Travis Scott, and as stated before, one of my favorite pickups of this year personally. I'm trying not to let the hype, though, push it up to a higher number. I think that 7 is fair for the most part. I think Travis Scott has continued to hold his weight in the sneaker culture, the sneaker game, the value and marketability. And I think that this new model is kind of extending that premise of what's to come for Jumpman Jack, for Travis Scott, because obviously the ones itself have been, almost became like the Yeezy 350 for him. Them able to come out with a brand new model and it being his very own shows that where the sky is the limit and what can continue to be done for Travis Scott and models to come forth moving ahead, because it's going to be a lot of colorways that are set to release in the upcoming year of 2025. So I think that overall these are solid, but this one in particular, even though it's the first colorway and first colorways usually hit like that, these are a dope colorway, and it's going to be very hard to top this, in my humble opinion. I mean, you could go with the Mocha Reverse or something like that, but these are just very dope overall. A little bit more pricey. $200 is pretty expensive in my humble opinion. It's more so paying for the name. These are more so, in my opinion, around that $160, $170 price point. But it's definitely something that I can, it's not like a Jordan 1 that releases every single week. So you can kind of let that slide, because when's the next time we're going to get another Jumpman Jack? It's been a minute. So with that said, though, this is pretty high up on my list at number 6. Coming in at number 5, guys, we have the Jordan 3 Black Cement. And I honestly believe that some of y'all gonna be upset. Y'all probably gonna put this one a little bit, you know, higher up. I respect that. These released though in November 23rd for $220. They brought the classic all the way back into its original form. I get it. I respect it. I respect if you want to get in on me, man. There is a couple of other shoes though. We're at 5, so 4, 3, 2, 1. There's a couple of other shoes though that, in my opinion, kind of sit a little bit higher, at least for me and the impact. But we cannot disagree that this was a big time release for a lot of people out there, and a lot of people that missed out in 2018 was finally able to get their hands on this pair coming into 2024. And it's probably gonna be a minute till we see this shoe brought back. I think it's gonna be a good little minute. But with that said, they got the shape down right, they got the elephant print down right, the toe box. One of the closest Jordan 3 Black Cement retros to the original probably ever, to some people will even agree and say. But personally, definitely a dope overall release, and glad to, you know, have it in the collection. Coming in at number 4, we have the Jordan 4 Military Blue. How dare you, Tony? How dare you? Released May 4th, 2015. The reason why is because this was a shoe that's been, it's been a long time since it's released, in my opinion. I'm not saying that the Military Blue is better than the Black Cement 3. The Black Cement 3 is way more impactful. It's way more history and all that. But if we're just going based off of that, then this is number 1, and it will continue to be number 1 for me compared to the releases of this year. It's kind of like, I want to make, there has to be other boundaries to that. I can't, you know, the Jordan 3 Black Cement is a staple, and we got to go also off of new ideas. There's so many different things that go into this list overall. The reason why the Military Blue 4 is high up like that though is because it's been since 2012 since its last release. It is an OG colorway, and it's a classic colorway to add on top. OG class, same thing. Nike Air on the back though also, and we haven't had that. I don't know the last time we've had the Nike Air on the back Military Blue 4 since the original. Maybe that, it probably has never happened. I think this is the second time it's happened. So this, for older sneakerheads that have been in the game for the past decade, this will matter more to someone that may have just been in it for the past 5 years, because the past 5 years, 5 years ago, that's 2019. You missed out in 2018 when these hit. These still, I need the pair, but I still got the 2018 pair. Now we're at the 2024 pair. This one I never owned, so it hits different as we've been waiting on this shoe to release for so long. Classic colorway, classic story. The Jordan 4, Nike Air on the back. I gotta put it at number 4. I just got to. Coming in at number 3. Now this one is not big impactful for me, but I understand as a sneakerhead how deep the culture goes. And that is the Nike SB Futura. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. But Futura is very similar to his impact as of a Stash, a graffiti artist who has made some super dope collaborative pieces with Nike, but just as a graffiti artist of his own. And this shoe has been marked as the number 1 for a lot of people on major lists out there. And I think that I have to respect that at the end of the day, and I cannot make it a bias Jordan or Nike only, or, you know, I have to really try to reach out and look around to see that there's other things than what just I like. And I feel like this is a shoe that has had a huge impact, especially in the Nike SB market, probably the biggest Nike SB of the year for people out there. And I had to put it on the list for that reasoning. Like I said, these lists are not more so biased. The bias list is go look at my top 10 pickups or top 10 favorite shoes. Those are the ones that are more so about me. This is more so, I try to incorporate everything. And this shoe in particular, I feel like deserves to be on the top spot because it's well received and well regarded as the top shoe for a lot of people out there. I don't think it's number 1, but I do think that it deserved to be number 3, and that's where we put it, number 3. Now we're back to Tony D, and number 2, the Jordan 4 Bred Reimagined. I have to put this one on the list, man. This shoe released in February for $215, and even though it released almost a year ago, it's still regarded as one of the dope shoes and dope releases of the year. It held its weight. It is a Jordan 4 Bred, but it's swapped around and done correctly. A Reimagined is usually not They haven't been doing good when they reimagine or flip something, but the Bread Reimagined, the 4, in my opinion, has been holding its weight, and it's been a phenomenal release. And I want to say, when it comes to the reimagined sneakers, as I stated before, you got Reimagined like the Lost and Founds, that is pretty much a Jordan 1 distressed and aged. You have the Jordan 3 White Cement Reimagined, that is pretty much very similar with the distressed and aged. Those I don't count because they're pretty much like vintaged aged of their originals. The Suede Royals were a material swap. The Patent Bread Royals was a material swap. They did not do as well as those. This one is a material swap like those, but it did phenomenally well. And that's why I respect this shoe, and I like this shoe, and I think the shoe is this dope overall because of what they did with it. I think this is a dope shoe, and I gotta put it at number 2. I gotta keep it 1,000. Now, some honorable mentions that I did want to mention. One is the Kith collaborative, the whole entire collection itself with the Marvel supervillains. I did not forget about them, but they just didn't make my list. But the ASIC collab with Kith that released at San Diego Comic-Con July 25th, and then also on Kith on August 9th. And then we got the Kids of Immigrants Nike Air Max SNDR Persian Violet. Those released real recently on the 29th for $190. I think they had a sundown and like a sunset, 2 different versions. I know a lot of people have marked those as number 1. I think Foamer had it like as number. Well, I don't even want to ruin that, but Foamer had it on his list. And another one, of course, is the Action Bronson New Balance 1906 R Rosewater. Action Bronson definitely is carrying it. Another one I would say also is what I can't forget about my guy. I gotta be honest too, Joe Fresh with the New Balance 1000. But I don't know if he dropped the 1000 this year or not. I think they were, but salutes to Joe Fresh because he's made some phenomenal stuff as well. But coming in at number 1, I don't own any. I don't own any of the number 1 shoe, but I got to be honest because it is, though, because the one I want to own I just don't got right now. But coming in at number 1 is the Adidas AE1. I think they first launched February 16th of this year during All-Star Weekend for $120. I think they were like originally like a friends and family, or just debuted or seen, pictured in December of 2023, but it was not officially released until 2024. And the AE, in my opinion, why it's number 1 is because it has released so many models. It's a brand new model. It's completely just fresh. And I gotta give it up to Anthony Edwards for that, because it's one of the best looking basketball shoes, but it's also a shoe that you can rock as casual as you want. And I gotta give it to that. Y'all might think I am wild, but at the end of the day, every single shoe we had on this list is a model of a shoe that has already been around. It's just a color swap. It's just a collaborative effort. Nothing here, except for the Jumpman Jack, salute to Jumpman Jack, but everything here, for the most part, except for that other shoe, is a revamp. Even the Jumpman Jack pays homage in taking parts and pieces from other sneakers. But the AE, when you look at it, some people may say it looked like a Yeezy or all that. I get you, Yeezy Basketball Quantum. But the AE is a very original piece, in my humble opinion. It's original, it's clean, it's crafted, it's brand new. And for that reasoning, I gotta put it at number 1, bro. I got to. It is what it is. I gotta put it at number 1. I can't even cap. So to each his own. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section on that one. And yeah, let me know how y'all think I did on this list, because I'm ready for whatever. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna try my best to make 2025 better and give you better content. I got some things planned. I just got to execute. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm out. Peace.